Hi there, it's Michelle from CNC Designs. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in New Zealand, and today I'm going to show you a 3D project. It's going to be a tea light holder. The top comes off and there's a tea light candle, a battery operated tea light candle. And this one that I did before was designed, and there's a video of it from a French demonstrator, Nadia Lanceraux, I believe is her name. So I watched her video, but it is in French, and on her blog she does have instructions. So I basically copied hers, but I changed it up and put the red foil on for the Poinsettia. So this is made with the Poinsettia suite, and this was the red foil and garden green and the Poinsettia specialty paper, which is the Vellum. So today I'm going to change it up a little bit, and I'm going to use the Snowflake Wishes suite of products, and I'm going to emboss the Vellum. So I'll show you a different way of doing it. Hopefully that works out. So I'll put this one aside for now. And so what you need for this project, regardless of which way you're going to do it, you need vellum, so whether it's decorative vellum or clear vellum like I'm using, and you need colored cardstock, and then just whatever you want to decorate the top. So for this, you can actually get 2 out of 1 A4 piece of cardstock. So if you're in the other side of the world and use imperial numbers, I'm not sure, you just have to convert them online because this is all done in centimeters. So I'll tell you the measurements here, and if you need to convert them, you can do so. So you need 2 strips of whatever color for the top and the bottom you want. It's 5 centimeters wide and 25.6 centimeters long, and then you need to score it on the long side at 4.1 centimeters, 8.2 centimeters, 12.3 centimeters, 16.4 centimeters, 20.5 centimeters, and 24.6. So I cut a piece that was 10 centimeters, did all the scoring, and then cut it in half. And then on the edge, one edge, you need to score it at 1 centimeter. So basically they look the same. Then you need a strip that's about 1 centimeter by about 20 centimeters long. I just kept the scrap piece, so this might be slightly longer. That's for the handle. And then the vellum, with the specialty one, I made it shorter, so I only did it 5 centimeters high because being 12 by 12 paper, I wanted to get as much out of it as possible. But the instructions call for 7.5 centimeters wide, so this will actually be a bit taller. But my original one, if you don't want to waste your lovely impressioned vellum, do it at 5 centimeters, which is about 2 inches. This is 7.5 centimeters high, and then this piece was scored at 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, and 24 centimeters. So you have that one little skinny part, but the rest of them are 4 centimeters width, which matches up perfectly with the other piece there. And then you want to have whatever you decorate it with. So I use the So Many Snowflake dies that comes with the Snowflake Wishes bundle, and I've already pre-cut in the Balmy blue Glimmer paper some of the snowflakes. So I'll be using those to decorate the top. And then I went ahead and I have some white glitter paper. Not sure if it's a current product with Stampin' Up! Or not, but so I just cut a few of them in white so I can layer them up, because I find working with the snowflakes, if you layer them up different colors, even if you use plain colors on them, they just look so lovely. So just a few layers, and that really gives you a nice snowflake look. So I'll be decorating the top with those and some other little embellishments when I get round to it. So to make this, sorry about that. My landline phone rang in the middle of my video. So where was I? Okay, so for the vellum, I am going to emboss it using the Winter Snow embossing folder to give me some interesting texture to this. So I'll go do that and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've gone and embossed it with the Snowflake, the Winter Snow embossing folder. And that's this embossing folder here. Probably easier to show it to you like that. So you can kind of see some of the snowflakes there. There you go. So it's a lovely embossing folder. And when you emboss in vellum, if you haven't done it before, it turns white because of the pressure going through the vellum. So I knew it would turn out really nice looking with all the white snowflakes. But make sure you score it first so you can see where your score lines are. And then what you want to do is just fold it. Now, normally when I fold my score lines, I burnish them. But vellum, if it's thin, like this isn't as thick as the specialty vellum, it could possibly rip. So when you score it, be gentle scoring it. And when you fold it, you don't need to burnish it, just gently fold it with your fingers. If you've lost any of those score lines when you can't see them after putting the embossing folder through, just hold it up to a ruler to find where the lines are, but I can still see them. And so maybe I'll show you the back so you can sort of see. So you can still see where I scored it. Oh. And you don't need to push it really hard, just gentle on the scoring lines. And that is our outline. Now one thing, this folder is too short to do the entire piece. So what I did is I ran it through that much, and then I turned it around and ran through just the part that hadn't gone through yet, and that gave me the full snowflakes on there. Okay, so that's our central bit. And we can go ahead and stick that together. Now, if you haven't worked with vellum before, one tip is use tape. It doesn't stick very well with glue, as well as you can see the glue through, and you can end up getting glue everywhere. So it's best to just put a little strip of tear-in tape on there. And I'll go ahead and do that to get this piece ready. So just put your tear-in tape there. And we can go ahead and stick this together because when we put the lantern, it's kind of like a lantern, I guess, because this is flexible, we can manipulate it into shape. So just line up the two lines there, and that little section overlaps. So the tape is not that noticeable, and you're not going to see it when you're got it going. So there we go. That's the inside of our lantern done. Now the outer pieces, we need to snip those. So I find it's easiest to do the long part, and this being cardstock, I can go ahead and burnish it. Okay, so burnish it on the long section, bend on the score line, and then burnish it. And then you want to snip each of those lines. Now you could go ahead and fold that, but I find it's easiest just to snip it while I can see the line in place. And that way I know how far to go because I've already bent that piece, so I won't go beyond that line. Just put my scissors right up there and just snip right up to that line. And that other noise you just heard was my computer, because I had the screen up to show me what the measurements were. So all kinds of background noises today. Haven't done a video in a while and I've forgotten all the things I need to watch out for before I do my video. Okay, and this last skinny piece here, you cut it up there, and then you're going to cut that skinny piece off. Okay, and then you want to do the same to the other piece. So that's my skinny piece. Cut that off. That just leaves you a tab at the end. And then just straight up the lines until you get to the fold. I find this is easier. Some people like to fold it first and then cut on the folded part, but I find this much easier to just fold where it's going to go up to, and then I don't cut it too far. And see, it's already flexible. Now this is going to turn out to be the top and the bottom. Okay, so we don't even really need to burnish those bits. So the trick to this is getting it to glue in place. So if my glue is going to cooperate, I've been having a lot of problems with that. You want to glue the little tab on the end first. And the glue is not, oh there we go, a little bit of glue come out. I think sometimes the temperature affects the glue, and at the moment here in New Zealand it's summer, so it's been quite hot. So just glue that tab. What you can do is when you line it up, you can even just put the two bits flat down, because all the score lines are evenly placed, so you can just pop that together. That part's glued, and now we'll glue the next one. Come on, glue. There we go. Just enough to hold it in place. So I can set it down there and just fold it over, and it should line up perfectly. And being liquid glue, you can always wiggle it in place. That's why this is good for liquid glue, so you can wiggle it into place. Okay, so that's good there. Okay, so I swapped my glue over because I didn't want to have problems with that one. So now this is kind of the tricky part, because you want to make sure you have a, what is it, hex, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think this is a hexagon, because there's 6 sides to it. But you want to make sure you try to keep the sides even, and as you can see, like depending on how you glue it, I could glue it there and then my sides are going to go kind of wonky. So this is about the trickiest part there is to this project, and what I find is just pop all the ends down and then find 2 opposite sides, and if you get those to line up where the lines are going perfectly straight, then you don't have to worry about the other parts. Okay, so once you have that lined up, pop some glue underneath one of them. Now, not a lot of glue, because as you can see, that section doesn't actually get covered. So just, there we go. Enough glue to keep the edges down. And then sort of wobble it back into place. Make sure these 2 bits do line up together. And then that pretty much gives you the right shape, as long as you got the 2 lining up. Okay, now it doesn't really matter about gluing the rest together, but if you want, you can then go underneath and just put some spot glue if you're worried about it coming apart. So you can just go underneath and put some glue in a couple spots and lean it down, and the same with that one. So I've just put some glue on a couple of the flaps and then just lean it down. All right. And you're not really going to see the inside. If you want to be picky about it, you could then trace around this piece and then cut out a piece to fit, to cover that up if you don't want to see that messy inside. But the chances of somebody actually picking it up and having a look inside, and even on the inside of it, you can see the overlaps, but depends on how picky you want to be about how it looks, but I'm quite happy just to leave it as is. And then you do the same thing, so flop down a few of the sides and then just find two opposite ones, line them up best you can, and then I'm just going to pop a bit of glue here. And then looking at that, making sure that looks about straight, and a bit of glue there. And that just helps you to wiggle it into place if you need to. Okay. If you want to be really careful, you can line them up, make sure they both look the same size. But I had no problem making this, just making it fit as is. But I just like to add a little bit of glue on the inside just to hold it in place. And a couple of flaps. And hold them in place. Okay. So that's our top and bottom done. And then we need to put this inside. Now, to make sure that you're able to lift the top off, you do not glue it to the top. You only put adhesive at the bottom. And again, like I said earlier, Vellum only works really well with double-sided tape. So that's what I'm going to use here. I should have probably put it on before, but that's okay. So choose which is top and which is bottom. I mean, if it looked like this, you can't really tell a difference. And you're going to not see part of it. So just, if you're using Stampin' Up tape, tear-in tape, the width of the tear-in tape is the perfect size. So basically you don't want any tape wider than that section there, which is 1 centimeter. So just go around the edge, just on one edge with your tape. And when you come back to the front of it, you can simply tear it off. That's why it's called tear-in tape. Okay. Now the best way to do this, to make it fit, is just to peel a little bit of the tape. Trying to peel it with a hand that doesn't have any nails. There we go. So peel a little bit of the tape and make like a tab so it's sticking upward. And then holding the top, I just kind of gently, see how I'm kind of gently manipulating it? So you can just gently manipulate it to fit inside. So the main thing you want is to make sure your corners are meeting up. So see how that corner meets up with where I've already scored it? And so just gently pull the paper off as you go around, or you can just pull the whole thing off if your tape's not really strong. And then as you go around, just find it, manipulate it so it goes right up to the corner. And once you're done, okay, so just make sure you're pushing it far enough down where it goes flat all the way to the bottom, and then you can just go in with your fingers and just hold the inside and just rub against the tape to hold it in place. You're only just going to have a little tea light in here, so it doesn't have to be super strong. And as long as you did your measurements right, it should fit around perfectly. There we go. And so there's the top. That's going to fit right over there. And so when you put the top on and off, sometimes you just need to manipulate it as well. I kind of go from one edge and then just tuck the vellum in. And see, that one is much taller than the original one. So, to finish up, you have your little handle. Now, you may have not realized yet, but there is no stamping in this project. This project is simply cut and stuck together. So if you did want to do some stamping, you could maybe stamp on here before you curl it, so you could have a message here, or you could do a little tag and attach it off the side. But you don't need to do any stamping. So I'm just using my bone folder to gently curl the edges. And then I'm just going to glue them to opposite sides. Now, being hexagon, it can't be totally opposite, but just kind of eyeball where you want to stick it. And a bit of glue on the end. Pop it onto the side. And if you're using Tombow, you just hold it for a second and it just sticks quite nicely. And then the same here. Bit of glue on the end. Now you could go straight opposite. I'm just going at a bit of an angle. Don't know why. Did that on the first one too. So it's up to you how you want to have your handle going. And then that's basically the box done. It's just a matter of decorating. Okay. This one's not as stiff as the other one, because the other one, even with the Tealight in it, I can pick the whole thing up. This one, I think my Vellum is a bit loose at the bottom because the top's coming off, but I think I just need to adjust a couple pieces of it. Okay, so decorating. I am going to put the top on it while I decorate. And for this, I'm just going to pop a few of these pieces together. And I think I'd like to maybe do a dimensionalized snowflake in the center. And then I could just have a few coming off the sides. Yep, so just give me a minute and I'll do some decorating. So just a tip, when you're trying to put something onto Glimmer paper, glue does not work. Dimensionals work or glue dots. And what I did is I took a glue dot and I kind of manipulated it into a skinnier shape, and then I can just stick it right onto the glitter and it holds it in place. And these I put dimensionals between it, but being white, it's not that noticeable. And these other ones I think I'm just going to use to decorate around the sides maybe. Thing is, you could just go really overboard with your decorating. And in fact, I've got an idea that I might do. Okay, so what I've done is I've taken a piece of the Feels Like Frost Designer Series paper, traced around a section of it with the lid, and this actually has shiny on the back, so it depends on what you want to use. Cut it out, and that is going to be my background. So now I don't see everything there. Where the last one, because it was so large, you didn't really notice the background very much, but because these snowflakes don't take up a lot, I thought I better put a background on there. So you can modify things as you go. And so these are going to be my snowflakes, and I might pop those guys up with dimensionals. I'll use the mini dimensionals. Just put a mini dimensional there. And just pop that one up, coming maybe over the side a bit. And then a dimensional on the back of this guy. Now with these, because I'm using the white and the blue, even though the dimensional is a bit big, it's not that noticeable because I'm using the white dimensionals. So it actually kind of adds to the center a little bit there. I might pop that one like over there. And then maybe pop a couple in there, so I'll use some glue dots with that. And because it is skinny and the glue dots are a bit bigger, if you just kind of roll it up a little bit, you can roll it off. I just use my nail, but you can use your pick a tool if you want. And then it just gets it into a nice small spot to help you stick it down. And I think I might just pop that guy over there. And then one little last one for it. This little snowflake. So again, just roll it or the glue dot around a bit to get it into a smaller size. And then we can just pop it where we want. And then there are other embellishments that you can use. I've got all these gems. They were part of the set. So I'm going to use my pick a tool here, and I'm just going to add this big one. So I find it's best if you use your tool to pick it up from behind. It's got adhesive on it. And I think I might just pop that there to make that one stand out a bit more. And then wondering about putting jewels on the side. I might put some more snowflakes on the edge there. And another little mini jewel. So these jewels come in different shapes and sizes, but they just reflect the light so nicely. And because they already have the glue dot on the back, they stick quite easily. So I think I might pop that one there. And then the other nice thing is the little snowflakes you can get. Again, they have a glue dot on the back, and I find that you can just stick it right in the middle of your snowflake and it just adds a bit more glimmer. You can never have too much glimmer. In fact, I might put some glimmer, oh, wrong side, on here. Looking at that, I could have stamped the stamp set with the little snowflakes. I could have stamped some snowflakes on there. That would have added a bit more to the handle. Would have been nice. So just pop a few snowflakes on there just to add a bit. And you could even get your Wink of Stella out if you wanted to add a bit more to it. And I think that's it for now. I could carry on adding lots of things to this and spend all day. So there you go. This is the taller version, which is actually what the instructions are on the French demonstrator site. And just decorate it. I might put some little snowflakes on the edge to hide the attachment on the handles, like I did on this one. I hid. And for this, see the fuzzy leaves and those little bits? The dies for the Poinsettia set actually will cut out some of the images on the vellum, the embossed vellum. It's not embossed, it's got fuzzy. I can't think of the name. So with that, I'll just show you how our new one looks. So you can make it any type you want. Do not use a lit Tealight. Use one that's battery operated. So you can pop that in. You might not be able to see it very well being daylight here in New Zealand while I'm taping, but so probably can't see the glow very well, but that just shows you a nice little lantern. So that's your two versions of that lantern. the tall and the short. So that was 7.5 centimeters, and this is 5 centimeters, and that's about 2 inches on the side, and 7.5 is, I don't know what, 3 inches maybe. So it just shows you the different heights and the way you can decorate it. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel to see some more videos coming up soon. So that one was using the Winter Snow embossing folder and the so many snowflake dies. And if you want to add some more embellishment, you could stamp the paper with some of the snowflakes as well, which might be a good idea. So I hope you have a very festive holidays. Thanks for watching. And if you'd like to order and don't already have a demonstrator and you're here in New Zealand, you can go to my website, michellekritchley.stampinup.net, to order directly or contact me. And I do have a blog, papercraftaddiction.blogspot.co.nz, that I do add information about some of the projects as well as the measurements there. So have a pleasant day. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.